Welcome back everyone to another numeracy lesson with Mrs. Buddan. Your learning target for today is I can divide by 8. And your success criteria for the end of the lesson is I can practice my 8 times tables. I can use my related multiplication and division facts for my 8 times tables. I can divide by 8 using groups. I can divide by 8 using sharing, and I can use a bar model to represent dividing by 8. Here are the resources that you will need for today. Paper and pencil from your home learning packs, cubes, counters or marbles if you have any, or cakes or sweets or pasta, any practical material that you can use to help you with your division today. Let's first warm up with our 8 times tables songs. Are you ready, everyone?
Times tables today, sing with Todd and Ziggy all the way. Multiply. 1 8 is 8, 2 is 16, 3 is 24, 4 is 32, 5 is 40, 6 is 48, 7 is 56, 8 is 64, 9 times 8 is 72, and 10 is 80. 11 is 88. I said 12 is 96. Baby, you will understand. We got the learning in our hands. Multiply. 8, 16, and 24. 32, 40, and 48. 56, 64, 72, 80, 88 and 96. 1 8 is 2 8s, 3 8s, 4 8s, 5 8s, 6 8s, 7 is 8 is 9 times 8 is 10 is 11 is I said 12 is baby, you will understand. We got the learning in our hands. Reggae beats.
Here is an array 8 by 2. And we can use this array to write the related multiplication and division facts. Shall we take a look at what they are? We can see that there are 2 groups of 8. So that's 2 times 8 equals 16. We can also see 8 2 times. So 8 times 2 also equals 16. We can see that there are 16 and they are divided into groups of 8, which gives us 2 groups. So 16 divided by 8 equals 2. We can also see 16 divided by 2 equals 8 counters in each group. So 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And there we have our 4 number facts for related multiplication and division. pause the video here. I would like you to draw an array of 8 by 4. And then answer the following questions. How many counters are there in your array? Write 2 multiplication equations to match your array and write the 2 division equations to match your array. Let's take a look to see how you got on. First, we will need to draw an array of 8 by 4. So, let's draw our array of 8 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our 4 rows and we need 8 in each. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many counters are there in your array? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We have 32 counters all together in the array. Now then, write the 2 multiplication equations to match the array. We can see that there are 4 groups of 8. So 4 times 8 equals 32. We can see 8 4 times. So let's write 8 times 4 equals 32. We can see 32 divided into groups of 8 equals 4 groups. So 32 divided into 8 equals 4. And 32 divided by 4 equal groups are 8 counters in each. So 32 divided by 4 equals 8. So there are the 4 related multiplication and division facts for an array of 8 by 4. Did you get all of those sentences? Here are 24 flowers. How could we divide the flowers by 8? Pause the video here to have a think. Let's see, we could share the flowers equally between 8 pots, or we could group the flowers into pots of 8. Let's see, we said that we could share them equally, the 24 flowers equally between the 8 pots. So shall we share them out and see? So let's give each one a flower. And we can share them again. How many do we reckon is going to be in each pot? I wonder who's going to get the answer correct before I finish sharing them out. So far there are 2 in each. Oh, very pretty flowers, aren't they? So when sharing the 24 flowers equally between 8 pots, we can see that there are 3 flowers in each pot. Shall we write the sentence? Let's see. So we have 24 divided by 8, and there are 3 flowers in each pot. So there we go. We can also group the flowers into pots of 8. So let's have a look and see. So we need 8 in each group. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if we've got enough for equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when grouped into pots of 8, we can fill 3 pots equally. So 24, oh, let's get a pen first. 24 divided by 3 equals 8 flowers in each pot. Some children have been looking at different ways to divide 32 by 8. Can you decide if they have been sharing or grouping? We'll take a look at the next slide. Let's reveal and take a look. So, here's the first one. Is it shared into 8 equal groups, or is it grouped into 8s? So I can see that there are 8 in each group, so it's grouped into 8s. So that one goes under there. Shall we take a look at the next one? What do you think? Is it shared into 8 equal groups, or is this one grouped into 8s? Shall we take a look? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one is shared into 8 equal groups, and there are 4 in each group. Here is a bar model. Do you think this one is shared into 8 equal groups, or is it grouped into 8s? Well done, it's actually grouped into 8, so it goes under that section. What about this bar? Do we think it's shared into 8 equal groups? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. This one is shared into 8 equal groups with 4 in each group. Let's take a look at the final one. Here we can see we have a number line. Now then, is this one shared into 8 equal groups, or is it grouped into 8s? Well, I can see the jumps are counting on into 8s. So this one goes under that heading. So well done if you thought about those and got them in the right order. Take a look at this problem. 48 children go camping. Each tent holds 8 children. How many tents are needed? How could you represent this problem? Pause the video here to have a think. How did you get on? Let's take a look. Mo has drawn some tents and counted on in 8s until he reaches 48. He can see that he will need 6 tents altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take a look. Dora has made a list. She can also see that you will need 6 tents to hold 48 children. She's listed 1 tent for 8 children, 2 tents will hold 16 children, and so on. Let's reveal what Tommy has done. So Tommy has used a number line to count on into groups of 8 using a number line, and he can also see that you will need 6 tents to hold for 8 children, or 48 children. And let's see Alex. Alex has 48 counters and has arranged them into groups of 8. And she also knows that there will be 8 children in each tent, and she will need 6 tents. So in all of these representations, the children are grouping 48 into groups of 8. Can we see? Each one is grouped into 8. So well done if you were able to think of any of those different ways to represent 48 children going camping. Let's take a look at this question. 48 children go camping. There are 8 tents. How many children will sleep in each tent? What's the same and what's different about this question and the question that we have just looked at? How could you represent this problem? Pause the video here and have a think. How did you get on? This time the problem is about sharing the 48 children equally into 8 tents. Mo has drawn 8 tents and shared out the 48 children, and you can see there are 6 in each tent, so each tent sleeps 6 children. Let's see. Alex again has used counters, but this time she shared them equally into 8 groups, and you can see that there are 6 in each group, so she also knows that the tent will sleep 6 children. And let's see what's Tommy done. So Tommy knows that 6 times 8 equals 48, so he has used his related division fact, and he has used a bar model to show this. So 48 divided into 8 equal parts, the answer must be 6. Did you manage to think of any of these representations? Well done if you were able to. Jack says that to divide a number by 8, you take the number that you are dividing and divide it by 2 4 times. What do you think? Do you think Jack's correct? Rosie disagrees. She thinks that you only need to divide the number by 2 3 times. Pause the video here to have a go. Who do you think is correct? Let's look at this question together. I have used 80 divided by 8 because I know the answer equals 10. So let's try and let's see. So 80 divided by 2 gives us 40. So that's divided it by 2 one time. Let's divide it by 2 again. And the answer equals 20. So we've divided by 2 twice. Let's divide it by 2 again. And the answer equals 10. So you can divide by 2 3 times. Let's try it with a different number or see if it works with any number. And let's use a bar model to represent this. So here's our bar model. So this represents our any number. We're going to divide that by 2. So we now have 2 parts. So we've divided by 2 once. We're now going to divide the bar by 2 again. So each part by 2. And we now have 4 parts, 4 equal parts. And if we divide by 2 a third time, we now have 8 equal parts. So Rosie was correct. You do need, if you divide 2 3 times, it is the same as dividing by 8. Isn't that clever? Here's another question for you. One of these numbers will not divide exactly by 8. Can you spot which one it is? Pause the video just to have a think. Shall we have a look together? Let's start with the number 16. I know that 2 times 8 equals 16, so 16 divided by 8 equals 2. Let's look at the number 56. We could partition 56. Remember when we've done place value and we have partitioned numbers? I can partition 56 into 40 add 16, because 40 add 16 still makes 56. Now I know that 5 times 8 equals 40 and 2 times 8 equals 16, as we have been learning our times tables. Therefore 56 divided by 8 is going to equal 7, because we have 5 lots of 8s there and 2 lots of 8s there. So that number will divide exactly by 8. Let's take a look at the number 86. Again, we can partition 86 into 80 and 6. And we know that 10 times 8 equals 80. So 8 will go into 80 10 times. However, 6 will not divide exactly into 8. So this could be the number that does not divide exactly by 8. Let's take a look at the number 96. Again, we could partition 96 into, let's see who's got the right partitioning, into 80 and 16. Because 80 and 16 makes 96. And we know that 10 times 8 equals 80. So 8 will go exactly, or divide exactly, into 80 10 times. And we know that 2 times 8 is 16. So 96 divided by 8 gives us 12. 10 and 2 more lots of 8s make 12. So the number that did not divide exactly into 8 was, let's circle it, was 86. So that was the number that did not divide exactly by 8. Did you choose that correct number? It is now your turn to try and answer the questions on the next few slides. Remember to pause the video between each one. And you can revisit the learning in any part of this video to support you with your answers. Pause the video here to answer question number 1. It asks you to complete the sentences, and you can see that there are some flowers in the vases, and also B, with glasses of milk. Pause the video here to answer question number 2. Use the arrays to help you complete the divisions. Draw on the arrays to show your workings. Question number 3. 32 coins are shared between 8 people. How many coins does each person get? Pause the video to answer this question. Question number 4. Complete the bar models and division statements. Think about what we did previously in this lesson to help you. Question number 5. 40 kilograms of potatoes are packed into 8 kilogram bags. So how many kilogram bags can be filled? And you can use a drawing to represent your question if you like. And number 7, circle the numbers that divide exactly by 8. And think about how we worked these out. Remember the partitioning method too. Let's take a look at the answers to number 1. Pen, let's use a red one. So, complete the sentences. There are, how many flowers are there? So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So there are 16 flowers altogether. How many vases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 8 vases. Each vase has, we can see that there are 2 flowers in each vase. So 16 shared equally between 8. And the answer equals 2. Let's look at section B. There are 16 glasses of milk. There are how many glasses of milk on each tray? And you can see that there are 8 glasses of milk on each tray. There are 2 trays. And 16 shared between 2 equal groups. 16 shared into 2 equal groups. And the answer equals 8. So, did you get number 1 correct? Well done if you did. Let's take a look at question number 2. Use the arrays to help you complete the divisions, and you can draw on the arrays to show your workings. And A, we are looking at 40 divided by 8. So let's take a look at 40 divided by 8. So we are looking for 8 different groups of 8, sorry. So 1, 2, that's another 8, 3, 4, 5. So 40 divided by 8, the answer equals 5. Now B asks you what's 40 divided by 5. So now we're looking for sets of 5. So 1, 2, how many do we think there's going to be altogether? Let's see, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 40 divided by 5 equals 8. Remember, we're using those related division sentences, aren't we? So well done if you got that answer correct. Let's take a look at question number 3. 32 coins are shared equally between 8 people. How many coins does each person get? So we can see that there are 32 coins altogether, and if you put them into groups of 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can write 32 divided by 8, and the answer equals 4. Did you get that correct? Fantastic. Question number 4. Complete the bar models and the division statements. So let's take a look. So 24 divided by 2. So I'm going to write 24 divided by 2. And the answer is going to be 12 because half of 24 is 12. Or we know that 2 times 12 equals 24 when we use our related and division and multiplication facts. Again, for B, we have 24. This time, we have halved again. So 24 divided by 4 this time. And the answer is going to be 6 because it's now going to be half of the 12. So the answer is 6. And we know that 4 times 6 equals 24, or 6 times 4 equals 24. And again, we have 24. So we write 24. And we have halved again. So this time we've now divided it into 8 equal parts, and each part is going to be 3. Can you remember the rule where we said dividing by 8 is the same as dividing by 2 3 times? Who remembered that from this lesson? Fantastic if you did. Let's look at the answer for number 5. 40 kilograms of potatoes are packed into 8 kilogram bags. How many kilogram bags can be filled? So let's write a sentence. So we've started with 40 and we're dividing them by 8, and the answer is going to be 5 because I know that 8 times 5 equals 40. Again, I have used my multiplication and division facts to help me with this question. Number 7, circle the numbers that divide exactly by 8. And remember, we did this in the lesson, previously in the lesson. We did use partitioning for some of the numbers. However, I think if you count on in eights, so let's count on in steps of 8. 8, are you counting with me? 16, good. 24, 32, 40, what comes after 40? Well done, 48. We have 56, what comes after 56? 64, what comes after 64? 72 and 80. I'm not going to go any higher because our highest number is 65. Now then, is 23 one of our multiples? No, so that number does not divide because it says asks you to circle the numbers that divide exactly. Is 28 one of our multiples? No. Is 32? Yes, 32 is one of our multiples. Is 64? Yes, 64 does divide exactly because it's 8, lots of 8s. Is 65? No. So the two numbers that divide exactly by 8 are 32 and 64. I wonder who got that one correct today. Fantastic if you did. Well done everyone. How did you get on with today's work? So today's target was I can divide by 8. And today you have practiced your 8 times tables. You have used your related multiplication and division facts for your 8 times tables. You have also been able to divide using groups. You have been able to divide by sharing. And you've also used bar models to represent dividing by 8. So well done. Brilliant if you got all those questions correct today. However, if you're unsure, do not worry, as we will cover these in class once we're back in school. So fantastic. Once again, well done to everyone today for taking part in today's lesson. Don't forget to share any work that you have done with us in school. Remember, you can WhatsApp it using the school mobile. You can email it to the Pumas address, or during your walks out taking exercise, you can post it in the school letterbox. Looking forward to seeing your work. Take care until next lesson.